My mom told me not to talk to strangers on the internet, but I'm glad I didn't listen. We are the Certified Nunas, your sisters in the love of Asian entertainment.
Hi, I'm Amanda.
I'm Jessie.
I'm Natalia.
And I'm Sky.
And today, we are going into one of my personal favorites. That's right, it's Korea's national girl group. We're going to talk about Twice! Yay! You know, if you're like a, first gen, second gen stan, and you've like really been feeling the void of the summer bop since Sistar decided to part ways, well, do I have some good news for you, my dudes, because this group is entirely only summer bops. That's it. That's what they do. The catchy summer tunes. That's their vibe. It's cheerful. It's happy. It makes me feel good. One time when I was listening to Twice at the yoga studio I used to work at, the woman I worked with turned to me and goes, "You like really happy music." And I was like, listen, I don't like all happy music, but there's just something about Twice that like really just speaks to me on a personal level, and I don't know why.
But knowing your musical taste, it is kind of funny to think about, like, if someone thinks that you solely like the happiness of Twice level stuff, but then knowing that you have, there's the emo side. It's just funny that it's like they don't know that side.
Right? I'm a bit of an enigma musically. I like everything. But since it's my birthday and I got to pick, I'm inflicting it on everyone else in this podcast. Yay! Yay! Yes, I am turning 34. So
Big 34.
I will be 34. No, wait, I might be 34 by the time. Listen, I don't want to get into it, but my birthday's super weird. So I will be in some sort of Schrodinger's 34
Schrodinger's birthday
on the day that this comes out. I have 2 birthdays because of an administrative error, so nobody knows my real birthday, but they know it's either the 27th or the 29th, so this comes out on the 28th, which means that it's in a no man's land of birthdays. So we're going to talk about Twice today. Who's excited? Woo! Yeah, and they're all just like staring at me like, all right, good.
Cue the cheer up music.
Move it along.
Tell us more about
cheer
them.
Up, baby! Cheer up, baby! Okay, so Twice is 9 members, multinational girl group under JYPE Entertainment. And like many groups, were formed in less than auspicious means, i.e. they were forced to go through a rather it's so painful that I could not watch it because I just can't do this to myself. Show called 16. Now, if you've never heard of 16, here was the premise, and it was on Mnet, which I think will inform the rest of what I'm about to tell you if you know anything about Mnet. 16 youthful teenage trainees were put on a show, and then they, depending on how well they did on challenges, they were separated into 2 groups, the majors and the minors. The majors got to stay in a nice location and have a big budget and do all sorts of fun, like, whatever they wanted they could do for their, whatever, like if they had to come up with a choreography or a photo shoot or whatever, they could have anything that they wanted for it. Whereas the minors got nothing and lived in squalor and basically had to scrounge for their, for the same situation, but were expected to make the same quality of work. And if you did do a good job, you could be moved between the 2 groups. If
you did a good job, you would move up.
Yeah, and if you did,
and vice versa.
But it only, it had to be equal, right? So only a certain, which meant other people had to move down. Like, so it's not like they all ended up at the top.
Upstairs and downstairs.
Yeah. So, like, for example, like they had to do like a photo shoot, and the majors got to go shop at like designer boutiques, whereas the minors had to go to like a flea market. So it's that sort of vibe. So the plan was that 7 members would be picked from this pool of 16 girls. And then you're saying to yourself, wait a second, but there's 9 members. how did that happen? Yeah, that's because after the show was basically over, JYP was like, no, I really want Momo on there because she's the best dancer, even though she got voted off. And people seem to really like Zuyu, so she's going to be on there too.
It's kind of like they had it planned all
Yeah, it's
along.
kind of like this was a
Weird.
It's
They
kind
might
of like,
as well have just made the group and not put them through the emotional trauma.
Yes,
Just make a group and like have a show about the making of the group.
Like, see, that's the thing. They should have done it like years and years ago. Double S 501 did a series, and it was with Mnet, their MPIC, and it was literally just following them on their debut, and it was like a very like cool documentary, and it was like fun, and it didn't have like, I mean, it had like trials and tribulations, but it was like more of like, oh, Jungmin has to go to school now. Oh, here we're picking our colors, you know, that sort of thing. It's not like I'm gonna like make you sit here and be like, the minors have to go into a rehearsal room only between 9 p.m. and 9 a.m.
Yeah. And like, and but I think what's even like worse about this is that like 3 of the members who were forced to go through the show were supposed to have already debuted. They had like a 5-member group picked out, but then 2 of the members of the 5-member group quit JYP, so their whole group got scrapped, and then they got forced to do this reality show to like do something they were already supposed to be doing. It's painful. Like, it literally, it's so cringe to me.
It really is.
And I'm, you know, and it's this sort of thing, like, I'm amazed that these girls don't seem to just hate each other, but they seem to really quite enjoy each other's company. So...
Or even things like their little series, like the Time to Twice or whatever, when they do little challenges on there, like the yes or no one.
Yeah.
And like, do they not have some kind of like PTSD over this? Like, it's like, oh my God, if I choose wrong, what will happen to me?
They
like,
have to like keep up their appearances, I guess. Like, I would like assume of like, I was shown that on this like show. I like
never want to do a variety show
go.
ever again. I would never want to do a variety show ever again.
No.
But they do have their own variety show with a lot of episodes, like over 50 episodes, and it's not like little 5-minute episodes. Like, no, they're like a good half an hour. Like, you get a full. They're giving you the content. So they debuted in October in 2015 with the song "Ooh Ah," which is really interesting because I literally okay. If you know something about me, is I don't really watch music videos, but in 2015, I was trying to get my 2 best friends in Halifax, Amanda and Ashley. Shout out, to like K-pop. So at the time they had like a Google, like a Chromecast, and Spotify wouldn't like cast to it properly. So instead we were just putting on like K-pop music videos on YouTube and just casting that. And it was literally like the week that it debuted and it came out and I was like, oh, what song is this? And then I was like, this zombie vibe is so bizarre. And like, the music video had a sense of humor to it that like I wasn't really used to seeing, and I was like, this is a vibe. This is a vibe. So I have liked Twice since right after their debut, and I am not alone in that because it was less than a year when they won their first music show win with Cheer Up. At that same year, a couple months later, they went to Los Angeles to perform at KCON. So they were already out and about doing their own thing. They then, in 2018, had a single in Japan, the single Wake Me Up, which was the first single by a foreign female artist to be certified double platinum in Japan. Wow. So the people, they love them. And they were also, in 2019, the first Korean girl group to have a Japanese dome tour, which is a big deal. And the tickets really sold out in under a minute. So, jeez.
So they're big in Japan.
Yeah, big.
I think that's like
everywhere. People love Twice.
One of those things that JYP does do well is market in Japan.
That's true. That's true.
So.
And they have had like a US tour, which if you're interested in knowing more about that, there is an entire YouTube documentary, like a YouTube premium called Seize the Light, which was basically, if you want to know know about Twice, this documentary's gonna tell you about Twice. Like, you were gonna learn everything you wanted to know. Not everything has, you know, their music is fun, and their music videos are usually a little quirky and like well produced, and the fashion, chef's kiss. They have like sort of, they're generally styled in like sort of a 60s 70s like mod style to them, which is I personally am a big fan. Like, lots of, you know, fun stuff. And then of course, you know, because it's a girl group, there's the old school uniform concept that you cannot escape. In fact, as soon as they debuted, they became the official spokespeople for a school uniform company. So
happens. I think Astro's still doing
bound
the
to
same
like,
thing.
listen, you gotta.
That is the plight
gotta
of
make that
any
money.
K-pop idol.
It is what it is. So I'm gonna go through the members, and then I'm just gonna talk about some of the sad stuff that's happened, because I feel like with all of the fun stuff, you also need to like talk about the nonsense too. So there are 9 members. So you have Ji Hyo, who is the leader and the vocalist, and was also the longest running trainee at JYPE, who became a trainee, and this just kills me to say this, at the age of 9. 9!
And she was scouted too.
Yeah. So it's not like she sought this out. Like,
Oh. No.
Yeah.
No, the mom in me is like, nah.
Yeah,
No.
no.
My 10-year-old is not. No.
Like,
Oh my god, it's so sad. There's like one clip I was watching, and it was literally her doing an introduction, and she's like, "Hi, I'm Jiho. I go to this elementary school." And I'm like,
elementary school, and you're like, no, girl, no. Next, you have my personal bias in the group, Nayeon. She's the center, and she's a vocalist and a dancer, and it's very obvious that she's JYP's favorite. She always gets the first line in every song. And this isn't like any like attack on her. Like, as I said, she is my bias. I find her hilarious. But she is very outspoken, and you know, so like I was watching the Shoulder Review with Jesse episode that they were on, and they were like, okay, which one of you would like speak up and like tell JYP off? And you had to like pick, and they were all like, Nayeon. Well, she do it. Then you have Jonghyun, who's the vocalist. She's the one who usually has short hair. And I just
Adorable.
So adorable.
But she's like super
cute.
pretty too. She is like
Yeah.
model,
gorgeous.
like,
Yeah, like,
pretty.
like everyone. And interesting sad fact about her is she was on a variety show and got kicked by a horse, and now has like you can still see the dent in her leg from where she was severely injured by getting kicked by a horse. Then you have Momo, who's Japanese, and she's a dancer, and her parents seem like a delight. Like, every like, she talks about, like, her dad is actually a Jihyo stan. So her dad stood in line with all the fans for, like, a high touch, and Momo was like, you can just come backstage. He's like, it doesn't mean the same if I come backstage. It's not the same.
So cute.
I always love seeing these stories where it's like people's parents like a different member of the group the best.
Yeah.
Like, I always find that so funny.
Or they like all find like one member like the best, and you're like, come on.
And then you have Sana, who's also Japanese, who's a vocalist, who came over at 16. 16 from Japan. Okay. Like, I'm just thinking, I'm like, my parents would never.
No, right?
No.
Nope.
Never.
I don't even think
Then
I
you
could
have
like
Mina.
leave the state at 16.
Yeah.
So.
Then you have Mina, who is also Japanese but grew up in America, and she's a dancer. And then you have Dahyun, who's a rapper who you will probably know, even if you don't know Twice, if you follow memes at all, because she is very memeable. If you remember with Halloween, there was someone who dressed up very, very detailed as the genie from Aladdin. That was her. There's also like the joke where she always can tell if a camera's looking at her, and she always turns and smiles at any camera, even if it's hidden. She can sense it. So, and she's usually the one being ridiculous in the music videos. Like, if there's a joke to be had in a music video, she will be the one doing
when
it.
I was
She was also in
watching
a
the
God
stuff,
7
I was
music
like,
video.
she seems really familiar. Why does she seem familiar over
It's
the other?
camera thing. It's the camera thing.
That's
And she's dressed
probably
up like-
it. Yeah.
And then there's actually like a really popular meme of her where she was dressed as Annabelle, like the evil cursed doll, and she was doing that. Like there's like, you know, cameras, and she would turn, and it was just like this creepy Annabelle like finding all the cameras looking at her. Then you have Chae Young, who's also a rapper. She has such a cute little round face, and
She's so cute.
She's just so sweet. And then you have the youngest, a Taiwanese woman by the name of Zhu Yu, who is one of the dancers. And she was the fan favorite, which is why she wasn't supposed to originally be in the group, but JYP was like, money. Money.
Throw her
She's
in there.
adorable.
She
Well,
is.
and it seems like a lot of people are always like, well, she's like the prettiest. It's like they're all beautiful. I don't know.
yeah,
Like,
no.
Gorgeous.
Every single one of them
Gorgeous.
is so good looking that it's just like, no, okay. And Zuyu is actually the person who is embroiled in one of basically their only scandal. And I hesitate to call this a scandal because it is so dumb. It is so dumb, but so predictable at the same time. So she's from Taiwan. This is important for the rest of what is about to happen to this poor girl. She's also the youngest, so she was a minor when this happened. This is also important to note. So they were on like a variety show, and all of the non-Korean members were given flags of their home countries on the... Yeah, okay, Amanda knows where this is going.
yeah, that's right there. That's it.
So there was a Chinese singer who was born in Taiwan, but is very pro, like, mainland China, named Huang An, who accused her, she was like 17, okay? Like, you gotta remember, she's of being a Taiwanese independence activist, which then caused the entire group to be banned from being played on Chinese media outlets. They also were removed. They had a contract with Hawaii, like the phone brand. That was, you know, she was removed from that. And also, this guy had done this to other Taiwanese celebrities
He's part
too.
of that small dick category.
Yeah,
He's
small
the-
dick energy. So yeah, he's the small dick energy from this dude. So basically, this even like at the time that this was happening, the Taiwanese elections were actually going on, and one of the candidates who ended up winning was like, this is unacceptable that you're treating this girl like this. Like, she's from Taiwan. Why shouldn't she be allowed to have a Taiwanese flag? And then it literally like bumped up the approval ratings by a couple percent of this candidate because she was like, this is bullshit. And people like were in the streets protesting the guy who protested her. And so like it was a whole thing. And that should have been the end, right? Like, you're just like, she didn't bring the flag with her, it was given to her, and she's a minor. No, JYP made her apologize, make an apology video.
Of course.
For being Taiwanese, I guess.
Chinese money is the big money.
And in this particular situation, aside from the dude being absolutely horrific, the question is, why on earth would the Korean variety show not freaking know better?
But also, like, it shouldn't. She's from Taiwan. Like, I know that
Well,
China.
yeah.
Listen, I know that China considers Taiwan
But I'm saying that's like
not its own
everyone
country.
knows that.
Yeah, but like
Yeah.
the rest of the
Yeah.
world considers Taiwan its own country. You know what I mean?
But I'm
Like,
saying of all the people that would be aware of that, Korea would be aware that that's a thing.
Yeah.
They'd be
Yeah,
aware
like-
that that's a political,
Yeah.
just like I'm sure Chinese people know that Japan and Korea, they're a thing.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you're just aware.
I mean,
yeah,
if anybody in the JYP umbrella should be apologizing, it should be JYP for
Yeah.
not like vetting what was going to happen at the variety show
Or,
ahead
like,
of
what
time.
are the managers doing? That's
Yeah.
like part of their job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so and it was
so
you know,
many.
and
Like,
her
Korea
was
like,
apology-
Or maybe
Yeah.
we don't do that.
her apology actually led into the Taiwanese politics as well, because JYP and Hwang An were then sued by a human rights lawyer in Taiwan for coercing her apology. I don't think the suit went anywhere.
I like saw a brief clip of the apology thing when it first went down, and it's so terrible
reversed.
to watch.
Like
it's like painful because it's like obviously it's a child like doing this apology. Nobody actually thinks that like she should be doing this, except for like a handful of people who are not actually going like.
And the people who are mad about it weren't going to buy the album anyway. Like,
and it's also like what she did was hold her home country's flag, and also you can't expect the 17-year-old by holding a flag that was given to her to have any sort of political like stance behind it. Like she's just trying to sing and dance on TV.
Yeah, she's like like she's just doing everything that she's told to do. Essentially, she's there, and then she's also probably nervous and like not really focusing on things because you're like thinking about like 8,000 other things than like really what's going on. So a lot of that can just not be something that you're think of in those types of situations. She's also young and she's been at like training for a while too. So she was young when she started. Like, so how
she did not have
do you
time
like
to become a Taiwanese
that, like,
independence activist? One. She was too busy training every day. She didn't have
time. What time did she have?
Frankly, even if she was, it's her country. She's allowed to be proud of her country and want to, like, don't hire international singers to join your K-pop groups if you're not going to let them be international singers. Yeah. Like,
and if you're not going to protect them from those types of situations, if you hire a Taiwanese idol, you should be aware of the political stuff, and you should make sure that's a non-thing on any variety show they show up on. Always, it's not even hard. Like that'd be day one manager stuff, like Jesse was saying. Like that's just ridiculous.
Like, and especially when it's like from a country that like is kind of neighboring, so like you do share a lot of history than like like a completely different like. America would be a different, or like even like if you're like going somewhere like Europe or something, that would be a little bit more different because it would be definitely differently cultural. But like when you start to get into like cultures that are starting to get closer to what you are and geographically closer to where you are, it shouldn't be an issue, and it should just always be known. Like if you're on top of everything else that these girls are saying and doing, why isn't these easy things not part of it?
Right? Just like they don't they're not going to let questions go through to like the Japanese idols about about comfort women or something, right? Like they're just not, they're going to shut that down. They're going to be like, no, you don't ask those questions, right? Like,
well, okay, here's the thing. Well, there was one of
wow. You would think that would be the case. But this one is also one of those like, this is really innocuous unless you choose to take offense at it sort of situation. So Sana, who's one of the Japanese members, so in Japan they have like different eras, right? So one era was ending and there was like a new era beginning. So she just posted on Instagram that like, oh, it's the end of this era. I hope that this like the next era can be better. Like, we can all be healthy and stuff. A very innocuous. No! No! The small dick energy came out again. She couldn't even say that because apparently that was by acknowledging Japan exists. She was disparaging Korean history and had to like apologize.
They even tied it to the comfort woman too, specifically.
And it's like,
it's literally the equivalent of like saying Happy New Year. I hope this year is great for you.
Right.
Like it would be like saying like, oh, happy Chinese New Year, and someone being like, well, China commits atrocities. And I'd be like, okay, but
small-dicked
really
men
right now.
Just forget that they're not Korean, and then they like say something and they're like they're remembered that like they're loving this person who's not Korean, and they're like so horrifically like racist and xenophobic that they're like, oh god, and they spaz out and then do this shit. Like
So
How dare you breathe? How dare you breathe?
How dare you?
How dare you like wish happiness on people?
Like,
let's just be real. This crap would not happen to a boy group.
Nope.
The same way.
Really, not the same way. Not to this level.
Not the same.
It's all about them being
more
women.
More things that have happened to this group that wouldn't happen to a boy group. So Jihyo's had a bit of a rough time.
I absolutely hate everything that like happens for this poor girl. She's also my bias too, so like it's really hard for me.
She's wonderful.
She seems so awesome, like such a nice person.
So she was dating King Daniel for a year and a half. That was like a big thing to everyone but them and the company. Like the JYPE, say what you will, they're pretty good about dating rumors. Like they don't overreact about it, and so they were just like, yeah, they're adults.
It's like past the dating ban time. She can do what she wants.
And so you would think like, oh, like a dating scandal. That could be the worst that can. No, it could not be the worst that happened. So you remember that little shithead who was sharing sex videos with his buddies in the group chat that went to jail? You remember him. They doctored a video so that it looked like it was her. And it wasn't her. She has never made a sex video. And literally she was being like harassed and stalked over this non-existent sex video to the point where she almost had a mental breakdown. So basically she was hounded by the media over a fake video that never existed. Okay, even if the video did exist, she didn't do anything wrong. And so even if someone did illegally film a sex video of her, that's a crime, but she's not the criminal.
Right.
In addition, they deal with a lot of stalkers. Surprise, surprise. Jihyo again had her passport information leaked, which is a huge invasion of privacy, just to an unbelievable degree. But that is not the worst stalker behavior. That we are, unfortunately, my bias in the group, Nyan, deals with. There's this German dude who's obsessed with her, to the point where he would book the same flights as her and go up to her on the flights and tell her he was in love with her and stuff. And he would post online that if she ever dated someone behind his back, he would kill her, and would not stop harassing her to the point where they had to get a court order barring him entry to South Korea, and she had to be under police protection while traveling, because they never know when this fucker will show up.
They have like some stories out, like how the other members would have to like protect her. Yeah. Like they'd literally like barricade themselves in front of her when he was coming, because he would just beeline it to her. And like there were videos of him saying what he would do, and he thought it was like completely acceptable because he loved her so much, so she should be only looking at him.
He's clearly delusional.
So scary. So scary.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So despite the cheerful nature of all of their songs, there's the same messed up bullshit that all of these groups deal with.
I think it's just a little bit harder it is harder with the girl groups, but it's like also harder when we do these like deep dives and it's the like female side, and you're like,
you find out all this stuff and you're like,
just so depressing. And you're like, but they're so sweet and they're so funny and they're so like, when you watch their lives, because they're on live all the time, like all the time, and they're so fun and like they seem sweet, and it doesn't matter. Even if they were mean, they don't deserve a stalker to come.
And it's like, sometimes it's like you just want to enjoy some fun music by some pretty cute girls and not have to think about the fact that they need police protection when they leave their houses because of stalkers. Because no one should need that. Like, that shouldn't be a thing. In happier news, Momo and Heechul have been dating for a while, and they're still, at first, okay. So at first, when this happened, there was, of course, the ew, like, creepy old man, like, grooming. She was an adult when they met. Like, Jesus. Let adults date each other. But I think both of them took that with a lot of grace. And just sort of were like, yeah, what are you gonna do about it? Bye. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
like, I'm still here in this relationship, so
yeah, it's like, amazingly, your opinion of whether or not I date a man 15 years older than me really doesn't affect my life in any way. So thumbs up, you know. And to be honest, like, if there's a dude in K-pop that I think is not going to be doing anything inappropriate to young girls, it's Heechul. You know, he doesn't get nicknamed the human condom for no reason. You know what I mean? Like, he's out there drinking respect women juice and going about his day. So
it's good to know that someone like that is in their social circle too.
Yeah.
Being around all of them, you know, being there.
So
for safety
yeah,
reasons.
so that's basically the rundown on my girls, my sweet babies, my little beans.
I do have something that I'll like read because I found it on a article
please do.
Literally before we started, because their latest album has been doing really well, and then I just thought I'd share this because you can see how big they are. So Twice is now dubbed the first and only global girl group ever to be number 1 on Billboard's top album sales chart with an extended play. In addition, there are only 5 other girl groups to have top Billboard's charts, the groups being Blackpink, Destiny's Child, TLC, Spice Girls, and Danity Kane. Moreover, Twice is the first ever female K-pop artist to debut in the top 10 of Billboard's Billboard 200 with a mini album, as it ranked 6th on the chart this past week.
Listen,
wow.
That's from Korea Portal.
Twice. People love Twice. Like, I think that the reason, you know, this is just my personal opinion on the matter, but I think the reason that Twice's music is so popular and resonates with people so much is because it makes you feel nice when you listen to it. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you can go on and be like, oh, it's just, you know, poppy, like, cutesy. Yeah, what's wrong with that? People like
what is
that.
wrong with it? That's the
people.
What is wrong?
People
with
like
it?
to feel nice and to, you know, listen to songs that are just about dancing and cheering up.
Yeah, where you can just kind of bop along.
Yeah. And listen, and they really reflect their vibe that they have, like, in their music videos. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I forced Matthew to watch every single one of their music videos with me this morning. The Japanese ones that were just the same music video as the Korean ones, but in Japanese. We watched all of them. That weird anime one, for some reason.
I liked the weird anime.
Yeah. Listen, like, all of their, like, music videos really have, like, a little bit, it's like a quirky vibe to them. Like, it's not just like, okay, here's some pretty girls dancing. Like, there's always, like, just a little bit of, like, okay, I see what you did there vibe to them. My personal favorite is What Is Love? Now, I'm not sure if this was the purpose of this music video, but this music video said lesbian rights. Listen, I don't know if I'm the only one seeing this, but this appeared to be about a group of women who were in love with each other. Am I wrong? I don't think I'm wrong here. The basic premise of the music video, a little quick, is that they're a group of girls watching, like, famous romance films together, but all of the parts are just played by them. Mm-hmm. So in Ghost, it'll be like one of the members will be doing the pottery with another member. And you're just like, okay, sure. But it's like a really good song, and it's just really fun. I think Matthew's favorite was the music video for Signal, whereupon they're abducted by aliens and develop superhuman powers. And I know what you're thinking, like, EXO, but no. They use all of their supernatural powers to try to get with this alien dude who seems to just want nothing to do with them, to the point that he runs away to like a Unabomber cabin in the woods, but they find him. Like, everything about
they are nothing but determined.
Like, listen, are they successful in using their newfound powers to like win his heart? No, they are not. But listen, they put the effort in, and you gotta respect that. So, like, what ones did you ladies like?
My favorite is the oh my goodness, I'm completely losing my brain right now. I Want You Back. I love the video for I Want You. I like the song too. I mean, it's a good song. I was like, oh, what's my favorite song? And then I went and like, you know, I listened to everything and put it all into a playlist. And I'm like, I have I Want You Back in here 3 times. I guess I like it. Like,
maybe
that might be my favorite.
Maybe.
I've always liked the Cheer Up video. Like, I just, because they cover all the different genres.
Yeah, it's really fun.
You know, it's not that the What Is Love music video is identical to it. It's not. But
No,
the way members are in different scenarios doing different, you know, but I always have a soft spot for like videos that do all these various things. They're like, we're just gonna do everything. I'm like, yes, I respect that. I enjoy that. I always like it.
Yeah. I also like the random dude with the video camera head. There's always like something.
And he was in another one of the music videos too.
Yeah, there's always something about the music videos.
I really like I like the vibe of I Want You Back and the costumes and the, you know, like the scenes and the whole, like, it's so cute. But then like when they go to audition for the show and they're also all the judges like sitting there, they're like suits going, oh, I like that. And you like it's clever.
It's like the What Is Love thing where they're doing like Leon the Professional as one of the movies that they're watching, and so it just has them all like, you know, like in like, you know, dressed as the Natalie Portman character, but all then Dayan turns around with like a fake beard, like holding a potted plant and like dancing, and you're like, what is this? So good.
Speaking of like the crazy ones, it's definitely debut. Like Ooh Ah Ooh Ah. It's just like
so fun.
So much fun. And it's really funny because they're so cheerful and funny and doing just everyday normal things as young girls while there's a zombie outbreak. Like, there's like one part where like Zuya's just like sitting there up against the wall and she's singing along happy and all the like the arms are like reaching. There's like you know, someone dancing, someone waking up, someone like on a treadmill.
What I love is like what I love about the Ooh Ah music video, and I laugh every time, it's when it like shows Momo and she has like her leg like almost vertically up, and then it goes
switches,
struggling to like put her leg up on the wall. Oh my god, it's so good.
Little tidbit about that video: one of the zombies that's on the treadmill is Stray Kids' Bang Chan.
Yeah. And Daehyun and Chaeyoung were both in GOT7 music videos.
Well, I'm gonna do this because of the day that this is like airing. Like this is coming out on D-Day for Jessie. They've been in a ton of 2PM videos.
Yeah. It's a smart business practice to just take from your existing stock of performers and just put them in other groups.
Well, yeah. And I mean, like, this isn't like JYPE standard. This is industry standard. Everyone does it. Like, it's just, if your like company doesn't produce a lot of new groups, you're never going to actually see the people in the other videos come. But like, you know, Blackpink members are in Big Bang, you know, that sort of thing. And it's
like Wonho and Shonu were in Sistar's Shake It music video. Like, so what are the music videos, Jessie?
Okay, so interrupting. Wooyoung's Rose, the version 2 with the Japanese one, Daehyun, Momo, and Mina are all in it as backup dancers for it. Juno has 2 songs that they're in. So in Instant Love, Sana's the star of it. And then in Feel, Mina, Momo, and Sana are all in the video, and just I think it's like just one little clip. In Junkei's Your Wedding, Nayeon is the main girl in that. And then also, as like a side note, in Miss A's Only You can see a good chunk of the girls. Jiho, Nayeon, Jungyeon, Mina, Chaeyoung, and Zuyu are all in the background. Like you can see them in like they're like the parts where like they're in the club dancing, they're all in the background dancing, or like the cafe where they're all out on the street, like you know where like Faye gets out of the car and stuff in that video. All the people that are sitting in the cafe chairs are all like Twice members and stuff, so you can see them in the background of those. But yeah, they've been in like several GOT7 videos and stuff too.
So
love it. Crossovers. I know that's not really there, but they are. Dagnabis.
Yeah, I think they're like even in the like the documentary that they made about them, Chaeyoung was saying like she was thinking of quitting like JYP and just entertainment in general, and then she was cast in the GOT7 music video and was like, okay, maybe I'll stick around.
The girls haven't done really any acting to their name, but to a tie to those who are listening to us that are drama people. So Jungyeon, we talked about it, she's the girl that like usually has short hair. Her sister is someone you probably know, Sungyeon, who is in Are You Human Too? And several things. So they're sisters, which to me, that also like, I don't know how I'd feel about being a parent with two people in the industry, but like...
Well, if you look at, you know, like the... and flying... my brain.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about this the other day because you know they post pictures together periodically, and I was thinking, how does their family deal with that? But okay, because I saw how young Rainbow was when Rainbow started the other day, and I was like, how did they do that? No. Along the same lines, I also had the thought. I saw, you know, you're just on Stan Twitter and you see some young Stan being like, I just got into a K-pop company, and I'm like,
no, get out.
How can you be in Stan Twitter and want to like be under contract and think that that's a friendly choice for your life?
I mean,
like,
I get the like passion to do stuff, and like it does, entertainment and stuff does come at like weird costs that like it's hard to imagine, but also, man, it's not like it's pretty far in like K-pop world. But I guess like there are a lot of like success stories, like a lot. You see these people that like, I mean, like you see other people who are like have done a ton of stuff or been like in disbanded groups here and there, and then like all of a sudden finally get there. And so it's like, I feel like maybe it just looks more attainable in a way than like us looking at like acting, because the pool is smaller essentially, you know, because the population is smaller.
Also, like, as another celebrity sibling couple that celebrity siblings that I just thought of, that'll be a real crossover between Jesse and I, is that Nikian's sister is actually a well-known Thai television actress. So she shows up in a lot of the shows I watch.
I mean, like, you'll see, like, groups that have, like, the brothers split up in between. Boyfriend had twins in it. You know,
then one we and one us. I
mean, I guess it makes sense, right? The gene pool puts out
that's true
a good combination, and it works right down the line. You know, like
I guess there's like also a little bit of not as much there, but I guess a little bit nepotism where like it's gonna be easier for the next sibling to do stuff, especially if they're like split, like and flying, like they were split.
At the very least, you might be able to say, like, you could put your sibling onto the right tracks, right? Like, they're going to be having auditions, get in there. Or, this is the person you want to address your resume to, or whatever, right? Like, nepotism works.
Yeah, or it could be something weird, like, you know, Boa, who literally went to the audition for her brother and sat in the waiting room and then was picked up, and look at her now.
Well, that's the same story with Daniel Radcliffe and Harry Potter. His friend was doing an audition, and he wasn't even auditioning. He was just sitting there, and they were like, "You're exactly who we need."
Think of if you were the friend. I don't know, like I'd want to be happy, but like I would not feel happy. Like it would not be a good thing for my mental state.
I would be very conflicted. It's like, on one hand,
I know on paper
I'm so
I should be happy.
I'm happy when my friends are happy, but on the other hand, I want it to be happy. Hey.
Oh, one other thing we didn't mention, and I didn't like list them because I did not watch the reality show except for whatever clips were in like compilation things that I was watching, because that's just not my thing, and even the clips were hard. But if you watch the show, you'll know most of the people who were part of the group. Like you'll see what's her name, Somi, who ended up at YG. She's the soloist, the birthday song. She's there. One of the girls from ITZY is in there. Like, you'll see a bunch of people who are not necessarily in Twice or even at JYP anymore. So there is a good amount of people that you're like, hey, I know this person and this person. And you're like, oh, wait a minute.
Wait a second. I know these people. Yeah, like Ryung from ITZY was on it. And so there's,
She's part of the minor point at one point.
Yeah.
I was like, oh gosh.
I can't take like secondhand like emotions that well. So it's like when I get too stressed to watch shows like this. I'm just like, I can't.
There's just like so much, and then like we were talking about like Jiho, and like Jiho has been like the subject of like torture because of her weight for her entirety of her life. Like, and when she got into Twice, and people thought like because she was like 2 pounds bigger than everyone else that she shouldn't be the leader and stuff. Like it was like really ridiculous. But like that 16 show, really bad. Like there's points where they're doing like photo shoots, and then the photographer would be like, you're fat. Like, you're fat. It's not working out. Listen, and you're sitting there going, I fucking hate everyone, and I hope you step on Legos for the entire of your life. Like,
I worked as a professional photographer for many years. And I just need to say that if as a photographer, you can't... by the way, I just need to point out, Jiho is not and has never been fat.
She's not even like...
small.
Like, you don't even look at her and go, like, she's overweight and Asian, like, standards.
No, like, she doesn't even have, like, the she round even, face that, sometimes you go, oh.
If you as a photographer can't make a heavier person look good in photos, it's not their fault, it's yours.
You problem.
You fucked up. So do better. And fuck whoever that was. I can't. You see these ridiculous things where they're like, if you're an idol, you can't be over 110 pounds. One, that's a really tiny weight. Like, the last time I weighed 110 pounds, I was about 7 years old, okay? So basically, they're saying you have to look like a child, but they also, this is like, detached from height.
Yeah, they don't like that.
That's not a factor. 5'1" person at 110 is a very different vibe than a 5'8" person at 110.
Yes.
Okay? Enough of this. Enough. No one in Twice is remotely fat. And I even, when I was just like, on YouTube, what I can do. You go on. Not to who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? If it's not your body, you don't have a fucking say in it. It's not that hard. But I saw, a video, and I was like, I'm not clicking this because this is just offensive to me as a human being, where it was like, Twice's thickest and thinnest moments. And I was like, no.
Oh, no.
No, I don't like this energy. I don't like this energy.
No.
So people suck.
Yeah,
Companies
but you know who
suck.
doesn't? Twice. Twice is great. And the music makes you happier than this little rant probably did.
What I will say, Twice has so many songs.
Yeah.
They do.
So many songs.
They have been busy.
A
Busy.
crazy amount.
Busy,
Like,
busy.
admittedly, like, Twice is not my genre of music, so they're one of the groups that I, like, very much followed as people, but, like, didn't really, like, dive much into their music. I just did not realize how many songs. Like, they'll put out an album and it's, like, 15 songs long or 16 songs long, and you're like, oh. And then I was going through and I was like, okay, it's got to be all, like, all these, like, EPs. They're, like, all those songs are in the album like they normally do. No. Like, some of them not. And I'm not even including the Japanese versions of things.
Right.
Well, then I was shocked by not just when you talk Japanese side, I was like, they have a heck ton of a Japanese discography. What the crap?
Do.
Like, it's
huge.
I know, when I was on Spotify going through, it was like, I thought I had reached, like, the end of the albums, but it was just the mini albums. And then I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. You're like, I'm still going. This was, like, the most I think I've ever spent on music. And, like, I know that there's going to be, like, more songs that I actually resonate with a lot more. I just didn't have enough time to go through the, like, because I really wanted to get through them at least once.
Yeah.
But then it, like, became a thing. I was like, oh God, I don't know if I have actually the time and the date.
I was like, if those first 16 bars aren't speaking to me, I'm moving to the next song.
Yeah,
like,
because
just got to a point, it was like, okay.
I will say with Twice, they are pretty consistent in their sound in terms of they do lean a lot more into the very sweet, bubbly cute. Pop, sweet, cute. And that's their thing. And I think they do it really well. Just because I'm not, like, jiving with it as a music taste does not mean I can't see that they're doing it really, really well. But there are some songs that kind of lean more into, like, a little bit more R&B sound that I think is, like, really cool that I was finding. Eyes Wide Open had a bunch of songs that I really like. So, like, Handle It and Believer, they're just really good Jessie type songs. And then, like, I don't even remember, was it Cry For Me or something, where it was a little bit more of, like, a poppy rock?
Yes.
Is that the one? They have really, like, a little bit of a variety that I think, like,
and it was, if you're willing to the Cry For Me thing, I kept being like, why is there no music video for Cry For Me? That was bothering me. And I really think it's because, I mean, this is just my opinion, it just doesn't fit the concept that everyone's used to.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't make it into the box.
I really think Twice is one of those groups you should actually give a little bit more of a look into.
Yeah. Because there's stuff there. Like, off the kind of Christmassy album, the song 24/7 just has a really different vibe. Like, it's more of like almost like an a cappella, kind of like a just chill kind of, and the vocals feel really different on that one. And it's like, every time it started, I was like, ooh, my first thought would be like, did I skip, did Spotify, like, jump me out of my Twice listening, am I listening to somebody else and then go back in? Like, no, this is okay. All right, cool.
For me, I am a huge Dance the Night Away stan.
I love the choreography because it almost seems simple.
It almost seems like I could do it.
Yeah.
Like, I can't.
Like, a lot
like
of
just
their,
walking.
like, music videos.
And as a fun little aside, it was a very big surprise for Sky and I on the morning that we recorded this.
Oh, yeah.
We were watching KCON and Very did a pitch perfect cover of Dance the Night Away with the actual choreography, and it was really well done. So, and
it was, but to me, when groups do covers, like any gender or whatever, they take it seriously because it is like their like when they do a cover, they'll usually be very serious about the cover.
But I also really like the song "Get Loud" off of the Feel Special album.
Yes, love that song. I also love "I Can't Stop Me."
Yeah, can't stop me, can't stop me.
And I will say, this is just because Twice is kind of, I actually really like a lot of Twice's songs, but then sometimes I'll hit the chorus, and that is what I have like, I struggle with the repetitiveness sometimes.
They are earwormy. They're definitely like into earwormy, and like, like, they do have like what's the equivalent for earworms, but like for dance, just like one point of dance, because like it'll be like, what is love, and I'll always do the question mark,
yeah.
or like
or
TT.
The TT is always got
or like, you know, the like
yeah. Cheer up,
that signal,
and it's like, I can name you probably on one hand how many times I've actually watched those music videos. Do I now know those like dance moves?
and
Yes.
And what's really funny is like for example on TikTok, like the song "Fancy You" was very popular on TikTok with people who didn't even realize it was K-pop doing like dances and stuff. So they're really known for like their dance, point dance challenge crazes that come out, because they do very complex choreography, but they make the point dance something that the viewer can participate in.
Yeah, and you'll see it in dramas and variety shows all the time. Like
that was my first Twice. Was my first exposure to them was the TT dance when they were doing it in Chief Kim.
Yeah,
like,
and mine was in Goblin, because there's a secretary in Goblin. I think it was the TT dance, and I was like, "What is that?" And I had to go like figure it out.
I know, because you're like, if you're not into K-pop at the time, like this is obviously a thing, because like the way people are reacting, it's clearly a thing that I just don't get. So now I need to find out what's going on.
You're like, I need to know the context of this. Well, the context is Twice. It's just
well, it's fun. That's like a fun
group.
Thing for like you to like know as your like group that this is what brings out like people. You know, like this is what happens to your songs.
I will say, if I had to just be making like in a dictionary, like K-pop genre girl group, pop side, Twice.
Yeah.
Like, as far as who you think of, like, what would, if someone has not seen any K-pop before and you just want to be like, this is a good taste of what the poppy, bubbly girl group would do, pick a Twice song.
So Twice and like Girls' Generation, I think, are really solid.
Yes.
Not.
But what I find really interesting is Twice is the type of music that people think of, like, who don't know K-pop. When you say K-pop, they think it's going to sound like Twice, not realizing that K-pop is just a locational term, not an actual genre term. I need to just take a quick moment though to talk about their fandom name and why it's their fandom name, because I think it's really cute. So their name is Twice, and their fandom name are Once, so they're the Once. And the reason they're called Once and Twice, and I think this is really cute. Like, I know this is all a marketing gimmick, but it's still a cute marketing gimmick. Because if you love them once, they'll make it twice back at you. They'll love you twice as much in return.
I was looking at their light sticks, like their current light stick.
Bongs?
Yeah, like the current
Kitty
light stick
Bungsy.
is like pretty, but it but the first one where it looks like an actual swirled lollipop head, because like the newest version is a little bit more chic. I would say,
right? It is
more in line with like
cute.
Yeah,
but it's just like super cute for them.
Yeah,
too. Like
to me, they should have kept the cuteness a little bit more. Like the new one's cool. It is cool.
Fine. It's a good design,
but
does
it scream Twice? It does not scream Twice to me.
No, it's a little more generic than you would. Like, it's nice, but it's...
And you can sort of tell that Twice has, like, nice fans, especially, like, in the documentary that we were talking about, the YouTube one. So Mina was on hiatus, so she didn't go on their world tour with them. And at one of the stops, while they were saying, like, oh, we're sorry that Mina couldn't be here, everyone changed their lights, because all the members of the group have their own specific color, and everyone changed their light stick to her color.
Aww. That's so sweet.
That's so sweet.
Oh, another thing that I thought was really cool that, like, I probably, if I thought about it, I would have, like, knew this, but a lot of the girls actually have a good amount of song credits to their name.
Yeah.
Like, there's a couple with over 10 song credits to their name. So, like, they are, like, a lot of them are actively working on the lyrics or, like, working on the music on these stuff. So it's not just them being a girl group, which is, like, fine. If that's, like, what you want to do in life, that's like totally cool. But I think it, like, you know, the girls that are wanting to do some like more producing and songwriting are actually like allowed to, and they're being put on their album. So
that's good. It's nice when they have the opportunity, if that's what they want to do, right?
It's nice to see a girl group still being very active, and they've been very busy. Like they've just, since we've seen so many girl groups not have that, it's nice to see Twice succeeding pretty much from square one and being able to continue to succeed.
There was just like something about their sound that I think like resonates with people. Like it makes you feel good when you listen to it, and sometimes it's what you need, and like that clearly was enough for them to be like the most popular girl group.
It's nice too that like their new song, Alcohol Free, like the video is really cute, and the song is good and everything, and it's the same, like that they started out with that cute, feminine, pretty kind of sound and look, and still doing it, even though like what we've seen more with girl groups recently in recent years has been like a little darker edge, a little harder edge, that they're not trying to be like, well, that's what's popular now, so now we've got to like jump ship and move into something darker. Like, no, they're just like, this is it. This is who we are. We'll just keep doing us. We'll let the other groups do their thing, and we'll do our thing. And it's nice that they're in a company that's letting them keep doing their clearly profitable thing, you know?
I suppose it also helps at JYP that they've got ITZY to do like the girl crush darker concept, so it's just like, okay, we'll just send those over that way.
Yeah.
We'll let Twice do their fun bubble summer pops type situation.
One random thing I do want to mention, during the Idol Sports Championship stuff.
Oh, yes. Archery.
During the archery, it's not just that they were good at it. They came out in awesome costumes.
They always had awesome costumes. I think one year they came out all as dressed as Katniss Everdeen.
Yep.
Nice.
One year they had like these like really cool like
regal looking,
like, archery thing, and so it's like all the other teams are there in like sweatpants, and then the Twice archery team walks in, and we're like, listen, we're probably not gonna win this, but we're gonna look good while doing it. They're fun. So to quote Stan Twitter, Stan Twice for clear skin. Good vibes. Twice is good vibes all around.
Twice is good vibes.
And also just because it's happening today, the day that we're like uploading this, Zuyu has a melody project coming out. I just saw the little thing. So, you know, after you listen to this episode, go like,
and you know, you should go support that, because you know my girl's had a tough time because of, you know, stupid politics and stupid men having tiny dick energy.
And even if like maybe the super bubble happy stuff is not usually your jam, still, if you haven't like seen some of the fun choreography or just even checked out the songs just for the sake of knowing what on earth, like, why is everyone talking about Twice so much? You need to go experience it yourself, and you might actually be surprised, like, wow, a couple of these songs really make me happy. I'm going to stick them on my playlist.
And they're good for all ages. So you don't have to worry about that.
Like, literally, my little niece, when I was home over Christmas one day, she was like, oh, I was watching a Monsta X music video. And she was like, oh, what are you watching? And I was like, oh, I'm watching some like music videos. She was, can I watch them? And I was like, which group can I put on? That one, I know she'll enjoy, and two, I won't get in trouble from my mom for putting on letting a 5-year-old watch them. And I was like, Twice! So she loved it. She was eating that up. She loved it. She was even doing the cheer up dance by the end.
Well, I can imagine it, like, if I think back to whatever young age, you know, when you're into like the gymnastics and the
this would be
skating,
12-year-old like Jessie. Yeah, I can see that.
Like,
give me a candy bong, I would have been all
and, you know, and my little niece, she's really into, like, you know, she has like really long hair, and she likes wearing tutus, and she dresses in pink, and like this was her a jam. I was like, shit, I should take you to a concert with me. Like, you never great time. Yeah, a Twice concert would be the perfect concert to take a kid to.
Yeah. Oh man, they would have so much
they would
fun.
Have a good time. The vibe's immaculate.
And you know what? Like, even though, like Jesse said, like, for me, their music isn't like totally my vibe. So like, I like a few songs, but I'm not like super into them. But I really enjoyed watching their like Time to Twice shows and stuff because their personalities are so fun and like watching that Yes or No and Daehyun just like she got the short end of the stick every single time, and by the end you just like her soul is leaving her body and you just see it, like she's just like, oh my god, really, like she's dying, but it was so good and so funny, and like all the girls just their personalities and the way they interact with each other is fun to watch. It's just
and all their music videos are like just a little bit quirky, so it's like even if you like aren't sure if you like their music, you'll probably like their music videos because there's always something fun about them. Like there's always just a little something that's like a nod to the viewer, like we're not taking this that seriously, but we look good while doing it. And also like if the documentary series that YouTube did is really good, like so if you have YouTube Premium, it's called Seasonlight. You should check it out. It's fantastic. Like it's really well made, and it basically, they were, they all cried during it, of course, because that's what these things are made to do. But they're great. You should check them out. Their vibe's immaculate. Their discography extensive. Their adorableness off the charts.
Earworms and choreography.
Their
worms,
new video makes me thirsty. Like every time, I'm like every drink in that, every made up ridiculous. I'm like, I want to try that.
Their stages are really cute because they change. Yeah. There's the one like where one of the girls makes the drink and then she passes it over, and the other girl drinks. They change what they make every single night. It's really adorable.
The other night, I found a couple of pit crew makers that are drinks, like and now I'm like, I want to watch the video and like try to like recreate all the drinks on the pit crew makers.
So before we go, we have a few announcements. First off, thank you for listening to this episode about Twice. Go listen to them. We think listen, we love all of our little girls, all of our guys here, so all of our he, she, and theys that come across our way. We try to keep it light. And we hope you enjoyed listening to us. Secondly, very soon, we've got the K-pop Social Night Podcast Festival. So if you haven't already, you should get your tickets to that. It's going to be fun. I believe they just announced a special guest that had Jessie.
Yes.
Very excited.
If you listen to our halftime show last episode, I talked about one of the songs, one of my favorite songs of the year so far is Obsessed by Jujuland, and Jujuland will be performing at this. So
that is
it's going to be so much fun.
It's like, it's for a good cause, and there's like a whole bunch of other creators, so it's not just us there. Like they're
diversity.
There's a lot of diversity.
It's going towards like mental health organizations, so it's really great, and we hope that we see you there. If you also want to support us in other ways, we do have the Certified Fan Family over on Patreon. So the day that we're recording this, just literally yesterday from the day of recording, we had one of our movie nights. We have a monthly movie night with just the, Patreon members. We watched a very beautifully filmed Chinese fantasy movie by the name Yin Yang Master, Dream of Eternity. That was wild. We had a good time.
It was a lot of fun.
We had such a good time. We had a good time, and hopefully, all tiers. It doesn't matter. Even the cheapest of tiers is eligible for the old movie night. So hopefully, we'll see you there next month because it's a good time. We have good times had by all. What else? Oh yeah, we've got social media. So you can hit us up on that. We got the Insta, we got the Facebook, we got the Tumblr, we got the Twitter, but we're mostly on the Insta and the Twitter, so I would probably focus on those if you want to reach us, easily. We love hearing from people about what they're watching, what they're listening to, if they think we might, from listening to what we say we like, if they think they know something that we've never mentioned that we might want to take a gander to, just, tag the old @CertifiedNunas, all one word. And of course, you can listen to this podcast anywhere podcasts can be found, pretty much. But if you would like to see links to everything that we talk about, you're going to have to go to certifiednunas.com to see all of that, where each episode has a blog post that has all of that info and links to other things. We also have some merch. We got some summer merch in. We got water bottles. We got crop tops. It's a good time. Size inclusive. We go up to, I don't know, like 4X, I think, in some of the t-shirts and stuff.
I think it might be
like
4X, yeah.
Yeah. So, we listen, after we did a giant rant about size positivity, you better go up to at least we go up as far as our manufacturer will let us. Like, the limitation is not us, it's them. Anyway, we hope you have a fantastic week. Thank you for listening to us. We love that you did. And listen to Twice, because it'll cheer up your day, I assure you.
We're all doing the cheer up
dance.
Yep.
Anyway, have a fantastic week and keep enjoying Asian entertainment. Bye.
Bye.